Can you smell what the flock is cooking? Flock up or flock off, not you. You stick around because it's about to go down. You now flock with the most energetic entity in the Eagleverse. Here on the Maniac Monday, here with the Eagle Maniac. And we just going to get around the nest crazy today, man, because there's so many things. We are on the eve, the precipice of a new year. So in that vein, you feel like we may have to shovel up, sweep aside, to no longer talk about these things that we got. These rings with wings. Are you flocking? Killing me? These things are flyers. Flock. The rings have wings, y'all. This is just stupid. But you feel like that was probably the last time. Hear players say this all the time. This is the last time that you're going to see these players, this rendition of this team together. So in that vein, I guess, I mean, we're not even defending champions. We're just flocking up. We just brotherly shoving on for another mission, on for another chip vision. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's what we're going to get into. That and a whole bunch of other things around the nest. We got them rings with wings. AJ's nickname, Cam Business Decision Newton. Cam Half-Stepping Newton, you know what I mean? Chris La Flama Blanca Long, the bumming is still bumming, bottom shelf bargain shopping for big names and all that, and maybe a little bit of camp battles if we get into any of that. But before we get into any of that, let's get the nest keeping out of the way. Please like and subscribe if you about that fly equals fly. Drop a comment in that box if you flying with the flock. Even if you're not, do remember, join that Maniac thing. Note again, you hit that bell, you get a bang whenever I'm on this YouTube thing. And while that's the Maniac thing, let's keep the main thing the main thing. Hope this video finds you in fly equal fly skies, good vibes, good times. If you're not there, hope this helps you get there, because we're about to go there. Oh yeah. And these rings, boy, these rings. I mean, everything about this team, everything about this 24 team. There are many ways, especially us as Eagles fans, can say that this was the best team of all time ever constructed, ever seen on an NFL roster. When you think of the guys that are on this team, that's why when we get into what we're going to get into later with Cam Newton, it's really watered down my back. The wind beneath the whatever, man. It's really nothing to me, but let's stay focused. These rings, man. You got the greatest team of all time with quite possibly the greatest rings of all time. You know, I check in with the ops sometimes. I'm hearing people saying, other fans saying like, dogs. You know, I had to take a second because initially I'm looking like, yo, this is crazy. These things look like freaking watches, bro. Not to mention, you see Lane Johnson rocking both of his. Him and Jake is so dope to see. I don't know. Lane Johnson is that dude. Don't ever get it twisted. That's paid to Lane Johnson. But Jake the Make Elliott, man, I just feel, I don't know, something about that dude. They're both amazing. So yeah, we're not even gonna say who's better or worse, whatever the case may be. It just hits different seeing, because you're like, oh, Jake Elliott was there. Because I know, much like you, if you're like me and we like us, and we are all of Birds Nation, the Eagleverse, Bird Gang, and all of that. I know I do. I remember exactly where I was at. I remember who I was with. I'm surrounded by a bunch of Giant fans. You feel me? And they're sitting there. And you know, and of course, my homeboy, Punky Maniac, you feel me? We was over there repping the Eagles and his son Kim and all my sons and whatever, right? So we're watching. And Jake the Make from 61 yards. Flipped that season on his head. If you remember that game, man, I think that was the game where OBJ did the little, dog piss pose and all that, possibly. Regardless of what, man, just an amazing game. Then it comes down to that field goal. And, the Giant fans are sitting there, they're thinking that, it's your year, they're going into overtime. Nah, brother. This thing is over. Jake the Make comes up and makes it from 61 yards. And, I mean, I felt like that catapulted us into just an amazing season. Not the end-all, be-all, probably not the only thing. There's many other things that have to come together for you to win a championship. But that's that championship. Let's talk about this one. And these rings, like, they pop it open. I'm like, dogs, like, is this serious? Like, there's buttons on the ring to pop out wings. These rings with wings are fly as flock. I mean, I wanted to play it so bad, but I'm like, we keeping it Maniac Monday. We're on the eve of training camp, and it's about to get hot and heavy. It's about to get real fast and furious. We're about to get all kinds of things, all things Eagles all the time type of deals. You understand what I'm saying? So in that vein, I'm like, I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna pop up on Monday. I'm like, how come no one said it yet? Rings with wings. No one said that. I can't wait. I'm about to go crazy on Monday, Maniac Monday. And then of course you see your boy, Philly 500, of course, he's got to jump in and go crazy with it. I haven't watched the video because I didn't want to bastardize anything that I'm about to say in accordance or in relation to these rings with wings. But I just saw the title. I was like, yeah, you knew somebody was going to hop on that pause. Like, so it's just fire. The flyest rings in the game is known for this team with that name, EAGLES. Oh, my flocking Lord. hot dogs. The number one, they look like watches. They got compartments. They got wings. What it says, the things that it says, the 145 diamonds to signify the 145 record-breaking points that we scored on our way to a Super Bowl. Man, it's just amazing and a great celebration. It was dope to see Mekhi Becton there, other former Eagles in the building. I wanted to Bryce Self pop up. I don't know. I don't even want to poo-pooed. I mean, he was a part of it. He did things in the practice squad on practice that I'm pretty sure may have contributed. He has some pressures, that we can't deny. And damn, just ruined a great feeling that I had going on. My energy was all the way up and just thinking about Bryce Selfie, because of the things that he said over the past weeks, man. But these rings with wings are fly as flock, 100%. We got that. Not to mention, when you just think of the great storylines, like I said, we're going to talk about this for years to come. There's no doubt. It's not like we're going to, just because it's a new season, we're never going to talk about Super Bowl 59 again. That would just be craziness. I'm sure over time, we get tired of hearing of, Cowboy fans talking about 93 and all of that. That's a very long time ago. What are you talking about? But, for the next 5 years, I'm an optimistic Giants fan. That's what he always tells me. He's like, you got a 5-year shelf like that. You rep this, you rock this. Of course, I'm not taking any rules or advice from a lowly, bottom-dwelling Giants fan. Are you crazy? But no, I understand exactly what he's saying when it comes to that. Not to mention, in the coming days, I'm going to try and get some, I heard they used to have Birds with Friends. You remember the game Words with Friends? And you got, I remember there was if I recall correctly, someone said they had a podcast or an article or a column or something, Birds with Friends. So probably trying to freak some Birds with Frenemies because I don't really got too many, I fly higher than all these guys. You feel me? So I'm surrounded by a lot of Giants and Commanders and Cowboy fans, and what I'm saying, all in my circumference. Don't get it twisted. I know quite a few Eagles fans that we're gonna get to happening. But anyway, that's just another thing we're gonna try and get into in the coming days, right? However, when it comes to these rings and what happened over the season, it was a very memorable season for so many reasons. I mean, when you just think about the storylines alone and Super Bowl 59, when you got Zach Bond going back to the place where he used to play for, trading him and winning a Super Bowl there, him and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, another guy who I'm starting to understand, sidebar real quick, I get it and I understand where he's coming from. It's like that guy that try hard, man. Like I was talking to Bro-in-Law Maniac the other night. You got Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron. They got crazy beef. And Tom Hardy's a great actor. Charlize Theron a great actress, da-da-da. But I just hear a lot of people got problems with Tom Hardy. And I love Tom Hardy. And sometimes it's that guy that, he's just in your face all your time, just so damn intense. And it's like, damn, do you ever turn it off? He's like, no, I never turn it off. And you love those guys. But sometimes it's just like, whoa, 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 whoa. And I mean, me, I'm one of them dudes on all the time. Keep that energy. Even if I'm a bit perturbed by it, whatever the case may be. Number one, I'm not gonna show it. Number two, you're not gonna know it. And number three, it's always on go. You feel me? Like I need that. We need that. As a people, as whatever you're doing in life, man, that person, I know, some sense not always be on, but I just need that to be ready. Don't you feel me? What's the saying go? Stay ready so you don't gotta get ready. And it's always trained to go, but I understand how that could be from a coach's standpoint. Everyone's saying what Vic Fangio said about him is like this big crazy deal. Like, you know what? It was a business decision. I'm good with it. Like he just said what he said, and not to mention a few days earlier, Chauncey Gardner pretty much said just the same damn thing. I have a video about it. Go check the list and all this, right? So it's like, you know what? They had to do what they had to do. I just told them send me a place where I could win, and that's what they sent me, and I'm good. You're saying the same damn thing, but I understand it feels different coming from a coach. And while I was talking about the coach, I understand why sometimes you just like, guys, okay, it's a live period. If you ever heard it, go check it out. You'll see it, found it somewhere in the Eagleverse. But him speaking to the point that they got rid of him because they didn't want a dog, and like he's always on go and blah blah blah. Like coach would ever want to do that. But in the coach's vein, it's like, dogs, I'm trying to get this thing in the direction. All that rah-rah, just chill out for a second. Put it over there for a second. Don't turn it off. Just put it over there for a second. You feel me? And I understand his argument. He's saying, like, yo, just say go live. We going live. None of the players had a problem with it, but they don't know who's talking to Dom Della, you know what I'm saying? The big Dom, DeSandro, who, because that guy knows everything. He knows things about you. You don't even know type of deals. I heard, what's his name? Derek Gunn say that once before, right? So in that vein, I understand both sides and on to great things. So yeah, the storylines of those two and what the overcoming New Orleans and then coming to Philly and winning the championship here in New Orleans is wild as flock. And another sidebar, I am convinced the NFL hates us. Did you see this? It came out last week, the 2024 Eagles, and they're showing that Saints game and they're showing the highlights. They don't show the play of the damn game. I understand, I guess they probably had to wait. They probably have a certain amount of seconds allotted for each game that they show. I mean, shoot, they didn't even show some games, but it's only a 30-minute show, so I guess they could only do what they could do. But this is why, like, the Super Bowl champions played the most games. Maybe this one should be an hour. I don't know. If you can't tell, I'm watching that right now. So you got that going on. And they don't show the biggest play of the game when Saquon Barkley breaks one, and I damn near fainted when he ran for that. Just another great storyline. Speaking of Saquon Barkley, him coming to the Eagles is just crazy in and of itself. Then smacking up the Giants, and he decided not to go for the record against them, smacks up the Rams to get the record, the single game record, rushing record for the Eagles, telling the team, we just beat Shady. We just beat Shady. We love the fact that he says we. And if you saw the ESPYs, Lane Johnson, Jordan Mailata said himself, he said, if Saquon Barkley was here to accept the award of the Player of the Year, he would have said it was my teammates who lifted me up and turned me around and forced me to jump backwards. I couldn't have done it without them, because that's just how great of a dude he is. Didn't dust them up, didn't dust the Giants up as far as taking the single game record against them. Chills goes off on them 2 games, right? That goes off. Then, I mean, it's just so many stories. Oh, then winning the Super Bowl on his damn birthday. What are we doing here, right? Yet another storyline. You've got the Zach Bond, and I'm pretty sure there's so many other ones intertwined. Then the rookie getting his first interception of his career in the Super Bowl for a pick 6 on, yes, his birthday also. Are we crazy? And those rings got popped open on Quinyon Mitchell's birthday. And this thing has just been symbiotic, all kinds of things all this past year. Just amazing. Give it up for your Philadelphia Flocking Eagles. Those rings have wings and they fly as flock. And our team is going back to the top. Let's go. I can't wait, man. And I'm just ready. I don't know if you can tell, like, I am pumped. They report tomorrow, practice on Wednesday, and it's going to be on again. Song again. I'm making more songs and it's wrong again. I'm super pumped. And then we go from that to last week. And like I said, we're just going to get into all the things going on over the last week in the Eagleverse, right? So we've got the... Initially, when I saw this A.J. Brown, I'm like, this dude is so damn needy. But we flock with it because what he brings to the table is so much and more. So whatever, if you like it, A.J., I love it. It's weird to me, someone coming out asking for a nickname, asking for people to do it, because usually things like that are organic. Like the 1K, I went to this side, then I point to that side. He's crazy out of his mind, and I love that. I love that Eagle Maniac stuff right there. You feel what I'm saying? So, gotta love it, regardless of what. Silly, corny, whatever you want to call it. He's a dog, and we know it, man. I could go down a whole crazy other rabbit hole as far as people that are killers out here in this world. Maybe they still, you could be corny as fuck. You know what I'm saying? It happens to the best of us at times. I mean, you're probably speaking to the choir when it comes to corniness, right? However, when he came up with the AO, always open, me, because while I'm listening to it, going about my regular duties of the day and all that, and then the AO pops up, antenna goes up, head starts getting prickly on the back of the neck. I'm like, oh man, I can get on board with this one. Immediately, I posted to whoever, I forget who posted it, and I dropped it on their chat. I'm like, bro, that AO, the PA guy, needs to get it to the PA guy, that AO, I'm like, that is crazy. Then I saw your boy Josh with the Philly Special podcast. He's like, yo, the AO, you got the, and I'm used to this. You know what I'm saying? Full disclaimer. Full transparency, I am a Yankees fan, so if you ever been to Yankee Stadium, that is a big piece of going to the stadium. If you've heard it, if you know, right? Ew, they like and all that. So the crowd go crazy. Ew, and then that would be fire. Either that or the Dougie Fresh. There are things that could be done with that one. And initially, the idea was sinking, and now I'm on a hook, line, and sinker. Let's flock and go. Let's get this AO going. I am with it. Sign me up for it. First, I was out, and I'm back in. And I'm loving that. And then this is another topic that I hate getting into all the time because it feels like it doesn't stop. And they're baiting us. And once again, like I said, and I prefaced this by saying that, as I always say, I'm with that name, I'm with that thing. Right there, the birds, baby. 124/7, 360 fly, we fly. You already know. 24, Ron Jaworski, 3 Lane Johnson. I am about this Eagles stuff, albeit the names on the back do matter. I love them all. Hurst, Lane Johnson, Brian Dawkins, all the Reggie Whites, Ron Jaworski, Chuck Bednarik, Savile Carmichaels, all the way down to Montgomery's, Bobby Thompson. It goes on and on and on. Love my flocking team. Love the guys on the team. But it's all about the team, so you can say and do what you want, poo-poo here and there. Oh, that guy's not this, that guy's not that. But us together, we is that. We are them. We are him. You feel me? We are that team. Them dudes. You heard me? Fly what they told them boys and over there, right? We that. We all that and more. What you mean? Let's go to war for this team. Bleeding green. You understand me? So, I got to preface it by saying that. But sometimes it just does get you because it's like, where are they coming from with this? And it gets even more and more preposterous every time it goes along because this is the business that we're in, clickbaits. You know what I'm saying? Even me, to a certain extent. So we do. I'm going to say some craziness sometimes. You don't. It's not with this whole purpose of getting people to click. But I mean, like, why else would I do it? I mean, I have the audacity to think that someone gives a flock about what the I'm gonna say, hence the egomaniac. So you understand what I'm saying? And I just think that's just across the board with anyone and everybody that's incorporated in this thing right here. But that's a whole other diatribe for another time. However, right here, what I'm saying is, they had the week last, they had to list another disc. They had to list Love Brandon Graham, bro. That's that dude right there. You got. Whoo, calm down. You got another list, a list that comes out a week prior. They had ESPN execs and all kinds of other things. They had Jalen Hurts at number 9 quarterback. You know, whatever it is, cool, whatever you want to call it, man. Let it be. It is what it is. You want a ring for that? You want a trophy for that for your list? Guess what? We got those, bitch! I had to do it. I couldn't help it. That one had to come out. So then you've got that list. Then Cam Half-stepping Newton. Ain't no half-stepping unless your name's Cam Newton. Like, who, what the, like, really, dude, how dare you fix your lips to say anything juxtaposed to a Super Bowl winning quarterback, but understand this is the game he's in. He played these games, got to say these things, much like, oh man, TK with the sports or something, some new channel that I came across. This dude was hitting on all cylinders, man. He true. If you ever get a chance, TK with the sports, check that dude out. Click him up. Another new up and coming. Surpass me already. You know what I'm saying? Like, the dude is like that. Give credit where his credit is due. He's dropping gems over there. Not so much gems, you know. Anyway, good stuff. He saw Cam Newton, Cam Newton one. You feel me? Like, goes in, and it's like, so he spoke to the point that as soon after the Super Bowl, after he did what he did, I believe, if memory serves me correctly, because he said he saw it too. I believe he might have put up a snippet of it. Cam Newton said he would put Jalen Hurts in the elite category now. But now, for whatever reason, much to TK's point, now that people are comparing Newton and Hurts, all of a sudden now he drops out of the top 10. Like, now we just being foolish for the sake of being foolish. We're just playing games, like, and you see the way his show starts. I get into a little bombast on here. You know, I get a little crazy, but boy, have you ever... Nope, I'm not going to diss, because you know what, prior to him dissing Dylan, and he said you can't call it hate, because if Skip Bayless or someone else said it, we wouldn't say they hate us. What planet, what earth, what rock have you been under? That's all we call anybody who says anything against our team. And while sometimes it may not be warranted, it's just par for the course. You can't tell me what to call you after you straight arbitrarily just going to drop Jalen Hurts out of the top 10 of your list. You're going to tell me what I can and cannot call you, Cam Half-stepping Newton, Cam Business Decision Newton, Cam Alligator Arms Newton. Like, what is flock up out of here, boy? And they did it to me. After all that, it's all about the team, right? But I mean, some things are just I didn't have a AJ Brown. I didn't have a Devontae Smith. I had Christian McCaffrey, but he wasn't Christian McCaffrey yet. And Stewart was a great running back, but he wasn't a Saquon Barkley. Like, what? Well, how many goalposts do you want in the back of the end zone? Wait a minute, like, you might as well just get extra points automatic for you. Like, what are we doing here? I'm surprised you didn't bring up the brotherly shove. Like, I mean, I feel like he's one of the guys that would say, like, you know, if you can't stop it, beat it. If you beat it, like, what do we? Oh man, and that's all I got to say about him. Y'all know where I'm going with it, so yeah, we're gonna leave it right there. Another dope thing last week. Chris La Flama Blanca Long was on the Exciting Mike's podcast with the Exciting Whites. I found the block and Exciting Whites. What gets better than that, man? Love to just hear Chris Long wax poetic about football, any topic whatsoever, really, man. Dude cracks me up. Couldn't remember his name last week because I'm a whole nut. But just him talking to how, the torch is passed and the gap between that was Josh Sweat. I mean, not to mention guys like Lane Johnson, Brandon Graham, Jake Elliott, but, who are we talking about? But Josh Sweat was his rookie, and he told him before he knew it, he said, Josh Sweat said about Chris Long that he was the first one to believe in and believed in him from the start. He went on to get that bag. Super big shout out to Josh Sweat. We saw him at the ESPYs up there with the team. That was super dope. He looked like, damn, I miss being with these guys. I'm over in bum-ass Arizona with 94 million match. Yeah, so he's over there getting that bag. It was just great to see him again and Chris Long talk with the dudes and all that. And La Flama Blanc, I just had to bring it up because I don't know if you guys ever heard it before. I've said it time and time again. I'm not sure if here, there, anywhere, but just let it from my mouth to your ears. Eastbound and Down is like one of my favorite shows of all time, and La Flama Blanca was just such a dope. I never knew that was his nickname. I wish I would have known then what I know now. Not that it would have meant anything, but just a good time, a good party, good guy. Love me some Flock and Chris Long and him always standing up for the Eagles. And the dopest thing he said was pertaining to the Super Bowl, him having a Super Bowl with the Patriots and then having a Super Bowl with the Eagles is different. While being incorporated in the Patriot way is an amazing thing. He would never take anything away from that or the teammates that he shared that achieving that goal with. But just him coming over here and then having LeGarrette Blount walk into the locker room like, yo, reunited, and it feels so good. And they did that damn thing, and to win it back to back and do it against them. LeGarrette Blount felt a bit slighted by the Patriots, as far as contract negotiations went. So, that was everything for him, the wind beneath his wings, if you will, right? And then Chris Long just doing it the way he wanted to do it. Everyone's like, why would you leave the Patriots to go to the Eagles? What's wrong with you? Because he wanted to do it his way, whereas he was playing the 3-4 outside sideline, all kinds of different things, because that's what you have to do with. And I mean, I can imagine with the new Fangio, but we're talking more of a Schwartz defense, right? And he was able to just come off that edge 4-3 and just attack, kill the quarterback. He said another game that I remember vividly, I was at work. Oh, this is back when I used to work Sundays, dog. What the hell was I doing? Regardless, and it was the year before we won the Super Bowl against Atlanta, and Atlanta had gone to the Super Bowl, so he had to watch tape of Atlanta when preparing for the Super Bowl, and he just saw the way the Eagles were coming off, attacking Vinny Curry. Sidebar, Vinny Curry, man, is just because everyone shouts out Vinny Curry. I just don't understand where Ruben Frank comes from. And I love listening to Ruben Frank and Dave Zangaro, but he's like, yo, Vinny Curry would tell you that he wasn't a good player. Like, what? And then the people, so when in doubt, you go to pro route. And when you listen to the players talk about Vinny Curry, he's a straight dog. I've heard Gerald McCoy talk about him. I've heard Bo Adam because they cool. And, of course, Chris Long and other people. And, I just don't get it. Vinny Curry is my dog, first of all, especially when I found out that he was an Eagles fan. But rewind back to that year, I believe it was 2015, 2016, Eagles versus Atlanta, and they was on a run, and they was giving everybody the business. And I believe we finished the season 7-9 or something, Carson Wentz's first season. But that was the game. So I was like, yo. And, you kind of like, well, they probably wasn't expecting us to play them that hard or whatever the case may be. But as it turned out, they should have been paying attention. But we smacked them up. Not so much smacked them up, but we beat them. And that's when I had the little quiver of belief, not to mention all the exciting things that Carson Wentz was doing his rookie season. A few boneheaded plays, but this is par for the course for a rookie, right? But then beating the Falcons, I felt like we had something. It's just funny to me, like, I don't know why, weird coincidence, nothing at all, really nothing at all. That Chris Long pointed that game out as to saying that's what made him think to himself, you know what? I could go down there with Schwartzy and them boys and or go up there with them and finish this thing how I want to finish. Well, no, he was in New England, so we go down, right? Whatever. Captain Literal over here. It's getting crazy. But yeah, man, just great player, man. Love to hear him wax poetic about football, the Eagles, and his time there, how much he appreciated, how dope it was, how this is like a college town, like he's never experienced that. When he went to college, he's considered Virginia a small college because of so much other things. He tried to, endear himself, relate with Reed, and it was like, I don't know, man. That's still Virginia ACC Division I dog. But whatever the case may be, I do believe Reed School is Division One, too. Him and Byatt went there. A few guys came out of, what is it, Middle Tennessee, I believe. However, whatever the case may be, just Chris Long said I felt remiss. I had to, get into a little bit of Chris Long because this is the day before and there's not too much going on, but we gotta get it going on. We getting these wheels turning, trying to get in the mid-season form early, the postseason, the road season, all that is out of here. It's time for the preseason, training camp season, and all these camp battles that's about to go on. But before we get into that, man, the other thing that just caught my eyes, the Bumanders still bumming. The Bumanders are still bumming. Bargain, wait, what is that? It was pretty good, right? Bottom shelf bargain shopping for big names is the name of the game when it comes to the Bumanders, right? Like I said, I bring it up all the time. The one that's the glaring time that stands out to me is when they got Bruce Smith way after his prime, and then it was just a shopping spree of nothing but names for a long time down there in Washington under Dan Snyder. And last year, seeing how they turned that thing around so fast, you're like, oh, new regime, you know what I'm saying? It's competition. Low key, I got family members that's Bumanders fans, so because it sucks. It's like when I remember before the Celtics, if it came good, and then they got Ray Allen and all them dudes. I remember them coming up with Paul Pierce, and I hate the Celtics. But watching Paul Pierce and Antoine Walker, there was something endearing about it. Like, look at these dudes hustling and trying hard, and albeit Antoine Walker wasn't there when they finally overcame, but then they got good, and it's like, what the fuck? Fuck them! Hate the Celtics. But, I just say that to say this. The Bumanders felt like that feel-good story last year. And then, you feel good for your family members that ain't seen a team win in like 3 decades. So, make them feel good, right? But then, yeah, that wears away very fast, especially when it's a division rival. So, flock the Bumanders, right? And I say all that to say this, that they seemed after that 1 year quick turnaround and everyone's there, the American sweetheart, look at them come up, and now they just go back to like the dope thing about the NFL is that you can save the money. I guess they want the fans, make it look like to the fans that they're doing something. I don't know. And then pretty sure a lot of y'all out there, a lot of Eagles fans and Sixers fans. I used to be one. I had to leave when Barkley left. And that's another story for another time. But it's like the new Sixers. You see what he's doing to the Sixers? Just names. Like, what's this infatuation with names? It was the same thing that Dan Snyder had, and it would have been dope. Albeit I know Jeffrey Lurie's not from Philly, but I mean, he is a part of this thing now. Like, it very, very much so has entrenched himself into the zeitgeist of Philadelphia, and for eons years, for whatever to come, But I just feel like someone like a Jeffrey Lurie or someone from Washington, it would have been dope to have, for you guys to have that, someone that knows the town and what you've been through, because if you don't know your past, you're destined to repeat it. And this seems to be what the Bumanders are doing right now. And don't get it twisted. I'm loving it. Great. And I say that to say this. And once I pop out one, I say that to say this. There's about to be an avalanche. If I say this, say that, it's going to start spewing out crazy, ridiculous, whatever the case may be. And there's another one. But they go and sign Von Miller. Very eerily similar to the Bruce Smith thing, because I don't know if you know, Bruce Smith, Super Bowl apparee of the Buffalo Bills. Sorry for the Bills fans out there. I don't know. I just laugh whenever I think of the Bills. That's another one of our G League teams. Anyway, Jason Peters, Darby, and all that, right? Yeah. So the Bumanders go and snatch a Von Miller, and he might still have some in the tank. I believe he's like damn near the same age as Brandon Graham, but what is he, 36? I forget how long Von Miller's been around. I thought he was like fairly young. I mean, he was fairly young. We're talking like 9 years ago when he won it with 9 years ago when he won it with the Broncos. So he was only like 5 years into the league and not my team. So that feels like a rookie to me, right? Like, anyway, yeah. They go and snatch him up because they lost Fowler back to the Bow Boys. They're doing some weird circle jerk things. These guys taking that guy and look like no one's bolstering their team the way they really need to bolster within this NFC East. Yeah, we still roasting over here, flaming them folks, right? So I just don't get some of the things that some of these teams are doing. You got Ghost, and I figured out who was going to the Giants as far as the interior defense. Optimistic Giants fan felt the need to educate me as to what's going on in their interior line. As me pointing out, that's one of the things I see as a glaring hole with them. And Golston is an up-and-comer. When he said that, I was like, oh, you got some things over there. Then the kid they drafted from Toledo. However, I still don't believe it's enough. Like, you need to stop the run. Golston wasn't stopping the run in Dallas, but it is another guy that can rush the quarterback for you. So, you know what I mean? I told you the Giants they have a lot of question marks, and if they put A's on those Q's, things could get crazy real quick with them. So with a healthy dose of respect and flock, y'all, I'll say that. But I mean, I just don't know what they're doing. So they give up Foul, and then they're gonna snatch up Von Miller from Buffalo. Who knows how much they're giving him? Then you got the Debo name. Then you've got the Bobby Wagner name, and it's just names on top of names on top of names. The beauty, like I was saying, the beauty of the NFL is that you can push this cap over into the next season. It's not incumbent upon you to spend the money. This may not be the time. It wasn't a very rich free agent market right now, so you were not forced. No one had a gun to your head saying that you have to spend this money now. This kid will still be under his rookie contract next year. I understand you want to capitalize on the time that you do have it. It seems like the new wave in the NFL's second year, third year. Those are the times when you could bolster your lineup around a guy and pay everybody else while you're not paying the quarterback yet. I just love that. Howie and the Eagles, how E busting the stupid dope move, and Jeff Steban, Laurie, oh yeah, he works for Jeff Steban, is out here doing it each way, which way, whichever way you want it. They've done it the 2-year quarter, second year quarterback, the third year quarterback, now fifth year quarterback. Oh yeah, you can't do that if you're paying the quarterback. Yeah, you heard them say that, right? The flock out here. We do what we want, and we don't care. Stupid. Flock is wrong with y'all, man. So you got that going on. It's just some bum man is still bumming. Bottom shelf bargain shopping for big names. It's ridiculous. And the last thing I was going to get into is the camp battles. We're getting a little long on this, a little long-winded. I don't want to keep y'all too long. But you can put this on 0.2, 2.5, 0.5, 5.0 when you're watching this back. But I talk fast already, so I don't know you're going to keep up. Anyway, regardless of what, a lot of camp battles going on. Not really too much going on the offensive side of the ball, except for the main one is that right guard position. And I just throw my hat in the ring. I'm going with Tyler Steen. I want to see the young bull come up. I want to see him do what he needs to do. Not to mention I hate to use words like this and talk about God's money, but I mean, it is what it is. I'm not saying anyone's not worth something or worth more than whatever. However, having a young prospect under cap control to a certain extent, for lack of a better term, will be a great thing for me, as opposed to trying to pay a veteran and then you have a little bit of solidarity, at least for the next 2-3 years, with the control that we do have of a Tyler Steen, albeit knowing us, we'll probably pay him a year later, a year earlier, whatever the case may be. But I'm definitely throwing my hat in the ring. I would love to see Tyler Steen fill that position, do the things, do what he has to do. Not to mention we do have the guy Green, who was a former first-round pick for the Houston Texans. We'll see what goes on for that, and what would be better than having a jersey with Green on the back, you feel me? So I would love that. Steen is the guy I'm looking for. The next positions that we're going to talk about is, of course, on the other side of the ball, is it's a topic of much discourse, if you will, when speaking of the safety position, especially with CJ going. Then, I mean, in a little corner of the world, if Andrew Makuba was to keep holding out of camp, you can see it yourself. CJ just sitting back, cup of tea, like, bro, look at what they done did. They got another kid, shoot it up my crib, tried to get it, and it got a nut. What? So, I mean, I don't know how that relates. That was crazy. But Andrew Makuba holding out CJ would definitely be over there cheating. Ha ha! Look what you done did. Ha ha! Right? So you've got that, and a lot of people see Andrew Makuba as the heir apparent to CJ. However, I am of the community, of the fan base, of the corner of the fan base, who's rooting for Sidney Brown, man. Just a kid with a great story. Seems like a good kid. For whatever reason, it seems like him and Vic Fangio, I want to say, have fallen out of grace. There's any vitriol between them. I just think that what works for Fangio, and clearly what he does works. What works for Fangio is tunnel vision. The guys in front of me are the guys that I'm worried about. And Sidney Brown was going through an injury last camp, so he wasn't able to see what he actually could bring to the table. Albeit, Cooper DeJean was going through what he was going through. Other guys went through things that they went through, but something about Sidney Brown. But Sidney Brown, I believe, had much more of an injury. Maybe he wanted to see him in the books more. Maybe they're able to clock the time on task that these players have as far as studying the books, and he didn't see that from Sidney Brown. Who knows what it may be? But he did bring up his name, and I really want to see Sidney Brown next to Reed Blankenship and see how crazy that could get. However, may the best man win. I'm always with that. Whoever Fangio goes with, I'm going with Vic Mob, Fang Gang. You heard? Let's fucking go. Right? I really do believe in the things that he does, not to mention the DB coaches, the safety coach who I've been hearing a lot more about lately. Linebackers, coaches, any coaches that we have over there. I do have full faith in that they'll do the right thing for what's best for the team. At that, picking up what I'm laying down, I think you got it, right? So I'm that safety position, and I think dark wild card Tristan McCullum, because Vic Fangio felt the need to go out of his way and bring his name up when talking about the safeties when no one else did. And remember when he did that last year with Zach Bond? I heard a lot of people talking about that. You know what went down with Zach Bond. So I mean Tristan McCullum, dark horse, Vic Fangio favorite. Yeah, but I know who I want to see. Not so with the Steen, I think that's who I want to win. Don't know, of course, none of us know what will happen. Tyler Steen, of the Sydney Brown Bang Gang. Whoa. Who else we got? We got the linebackers. Ah man, you know the story. Once again, I'm with the story thing. I know it means nothing. I'm not the coach, so get off my back, right? But Jeremiah Trotter Jr. would love to see that. Great story. Love to see him get some burn. If he doesn't latch on here, whatever the case may be, at least put up some tape. Whereas he will become great. I'll swear, I don't know, because it's wild to me, man. Like another disclaimer, I'm a Knicks fan, and you know, seeing the Knicks go from like no wings at all to becoming like wing stop, like wings all over the place on the team last year is just crazy to me. Similarly with the Eagles, we haven't seen linebackers like this since the late '80s, early '90s, right? And then the times of Jeremiah Trotters, you know what I mean? Yeah, it was a little crazy in the early 2000s, kinda, but like now it's just crazy. You're talking Jahad Campbell, Nakobe Dean, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., Zach Bond, and I know there's a bunch of guys that I'm probably forgetting right now. I was supposed to pull up the roster and really get into this, but I thought I was going to run out of time, and I am running out of time. But I don't give a flock. I'm going to keep going until I stop, because as we're getting there and the juices are starting to boil, the green blood is starting to rise to the top and just so completely overcome and encompass me right now. And all I'm seeing is green, and I can't flock and wait. We got what? It's less than 2 months. Woo! About to get on the date with the crew, see what we're doing about this, some fantasy stuff. That's other things though. But yeah, just so many linebackers right now, and like being ranked like top linebacker unit in the league. These are the Philadelphia Flock and Eagles that we're talking about here. This is just nutty. Then you've got the cornerback battles also. We got, of course, you know, Quinyon Mitchell, and I feel like they want to have Cooper DeJean on the field at all times. Yet again, Cooper DeJean is another name that comes up in the safety competition. Cooper DeJean is a name that's coming up in the nickelback position. But if there is a competition for that, there is no competition for that, because he is the nickelback. But in base cut packages, they're even talking about put him in the right cornerback position or left field Barry, field side, space out, whatever. The second cornerback. But then we got guys like Keely Ringo. And Keely Ringo is the one that I want to see. I was just speaking to Optimistic Giants fan last week about this, like seeing the tape on him. You know, his problem, you know what I mean? He's tall. He's fast as flock. The only thing is, you got, you know, a bit of a hip issue. Now, I'm seeing him in these drills. He's dropping his center of gravity, which I would believe, I don't know, I'm not a physical therapist or anything, you think would lend to a better center of gravity, i.e. better hip movement. I don't know if that adds up. But, you know, just doing something, just seeing him, his back pedal, his back stride, and still maintaining that speed, being that size, like, it's just wild to me. And I just want to see that talent go from a potential mode to a kinetic mode. See that thing live in action. I can't wait. I really hope that is the case. So that's another one. I'm in the corner of Keely Ringo getting that second cornerback position. I love Adoree. I've always loved Adoree Jackson's game since the Titans. Watching him over here on the Giants, when they got him, I was like, ugh. Just similarly to when they got Bradbury, they just couldn't put it together over there. I do believe they had one good year together where they, you know, they made the playoffs, right? Something, I don't know, but who cares, right? However, Adoree Jackson, he's had a pretty good career, you know, but you also question the fact that, well, why would the Giants give him up? But we said the same thing about Bradbury. Maybe they're of the thinking of the philosophy, you know, it's better to get rid of him a year earlier than a year later. So, and I mean, this is a 1-year contract with Adoree Jackson. He's dope, veteran depth. If he still got it, he got it, and he could be out there. So he's the dark horse candidate to get that position. But right now, throwing my hat in the ring. As far as who I want to win the position, I would love to see Keely Ring out there. Yet another person that we have cap control over for what, like maybe 2 more years? Young dude, up and comer, another one of those Georgia Bulldogs up here, these bird dogs that we flocking with. So I would love to see that. This defensive line, I think, is just nonstop, just craziness. And that's when we're talking about the Jalen Hunts and the Nolan Smith. Shout out to them at the seeing Nolan Smith with the new haircut. Shout out to them at the ring unveiling. And I believe, yeah, he had his hair cut already when he was on the Excited Mike's podcast too. Nolan Smith. Not that that means anything about anything. It's just a new look. You look good, you feel good, you feel good, you play good, they pay good. Bottom line, period, point blank, full stop, right? So I would love to see that. Jalen Hunt, Nolan Smith on the edges, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter up the middle. Flock out of my face. Let's hunt. You heard? With hunts, this is dope. I'm so mad I didn't get one of those damn hoodies. About to go to Etsy. Had to make me one of them things. You heard? So you got that going on. Defensive line set. Middle, the linebackers set. Outside linebackers, but it's 3-4 years base and all that. We're not going to get too in the weeds with that. Cornerbacks, and that's how I see it. It's how I green it. How I be it. You heard me? Yeah. That's about it. Oh, but not to mention, the rotation that we can have with these guys, man. Because, and Moral Ojimo, Tyler Robbins, Ty Dollar Sign. We go from Will to Ty Dollar Sign getting money all the time. You heard me? So, I mean, it's more as a rotation. You see that second string, much like what Chris Long was talking about when he was talking about, the 07 and 11 Giants when they had that NASCAR. We did that thing in 17. We've had many renditions of that throughout our history. I just feel like we've clamped onto it and kind of cultivated the philosophy a bit better than what they did, right? I mean, of course, I look at the world through equal color glasses. You can say what you want to say about it, right? So then you flip that on its end, and then you're going to come out with a Ojulari, Uche, Tyler Robinson, and Ojimo, just spinning these dudes. It's wild. I mean, you see your boy Jalen Carter. He's out here for 99% of the snaps anyway. So these dudes could be stupid fresh, and that dude seems to be on fresh the whole damn game. Never ending battery, Energizer Bunny out there. Let's fucking go. And that's pretty much all I know over this past week inside the Eagleverse, man. We're gonna get into more in the coming days, man. I can't wait. I'm so pumped for this. If you pumped for this, let me know. Drop it down in the comments, man. Till the next time, make it your best time. In the meantime, between time, keep it a green time. You already know how I like to do around this time, about this time, at this time. It's always Eagles o'clock around here. Open your eagle eye, poke your beak in, and give it a and ask these questions. What you gonna do when Eagle Mania runs wild and brotherly shoves flies all over you? Woo! And say it with me one time before we get out of here on this eve of training camp for the 2025 Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles! Let's go. We're going to get that to mid-season form pretty soon, y'all. Let's fucking go get the flock up out of here. Peace. EHL.